and they mobilize the resources around them for development. That's the consciousness that comes from it. I mean, I'll give an example. Aregbesola CDA couldn't have gotten the kind of development it has received so far if it had been under the old 20 local government structure. Because under the old 20 local government structure, Oshodi, being the central point, was where money of the development went to. I mean, you could say that infrastructurally, Oshodi will have like 70% of the infrastructures, while Aregbesola will have like 5% of the infrastructures.
All right, thank you very much,
yes.
Mr. Bambeton. Well, let's engage our guest in the Abuja studio once again. Mr. Ekeb, I'd like to ask you one more time, I'd asked earlier, how practicable is this parliamentary system at the LCDA level, especially in a system where the government is a federal government?
The local government is a distinct government from the federal or the state government, so it need not follow the same structure operated in the federal government, in the federal system of legislature or that of the state. What is practicable is looking at the cost implication, and if the state in its wisdom feel it can save costs by practicing parliamentary system, all they need to do is to put legal instruments in place permitting them to do so. So there's no hard and fast rule about that. They can practice the system they want.
Okay, I beg your pardon. In other words, are you saying that every local government area in Nigeria can choose to adopt any pattern of governance they want? Wouldn't that create some kind of chaos in the polity if different LGAs and LCDAs choose whatever they deem fit per time?
No, it doesn't. The issue of local government rests with the state. Section 7 of the Constitution says local government shall be created and the state shall create laws to enable the existence of local governments in the federation. Now in Section 8, subsection 3, it proceeds to state how you create local government. So it's entirely within the domain of the state to decide by law how their local governments operate. There's nothing saying it must be uniform. Now, if they have adopted parliamentary system, all they need is to have a legal instrument creating the parliamentary system within that particular state. And the governor has stated from the clips we watched that he's doing this in order to save costs. So I think they're in line with that. The only issue there is these local councils, LCDAs as we call them, cannot draw funds from the federation account because they are not yet listed in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And until an instrument is sent to the National Assembly, we would now amend Section 3, subsection 6 of the Constitution. They remain what they are, development areas, local council development areas, that is what they are, but they cannot draw funds from the federation or even from the state. So the existing 30 local governments in Osun State would still administer in a way and to a large extent the new LCDs created within Osun State.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kim. We'll take a moment at this time. Remember, you can join the conversation at CTV Politics, and it's hashtag Politics Today on Twitter. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's still Politics Today. Thank you for being great company. Well, the conversation continues, and the new controversial creation of local council development areas in Osun State is in the front burner. The state has been wading in troubled financial waters in the recent past. Could this be the way out for the dividends of democracy to reach the grassroots? Well, the various political parties have been reacting to the governor's decision. Let's listen to what they have to say on the matter.
Our position is that the so-called creation is politically inexpedient and financially innocuous. We have a position where the existing 30 local governments plus the area office is not viable all the funds that is accruing to this third tier of government in Osun State keep vanishing every month. Nobody knows where the money goes. The money is not made available to them as a third tier of government where the people in authority there are supposed to be closest to the people of the grassroots. For the past 4 or 5 years thereabout, the people of Osun State, and come to talk about it.
Governance is, akin to the request of the people you govern. There was a referendum that 80% of the people of the state are requested for it, and they did so by yes vote. So government cannot do but listen to what the people say in the first place. And going by the opposition criticism that why do we do it because there's no fund to support it. We are in government, and if you see what has been put in place since the last 2 days that we mentioned it, very senior civil servant has been moved away from the local government system.
Well, we've heard the position of the various political parties. Mr. Ekam, let me quickly ask you, while we wind down now, one major problem that has been the local governments in Nigeria have faced has been the issue of funding and autonomy. Could you quickly tell us how can these local governments and LCDAs really gain autonomy and get access to the funds that they need for the actual development they were created for?
Now, if I understand your question, the line was actually breaking. How can these LCDAs access fund for development? Is that the question?
Yes. How can they gain the autonomy they desire?
Now,
so that, yes.
Now, the LCDAs at this stage are still premature in that you have to send an instrument to the National Assembly and then amend the Constitution and reflect the names of the new LCDAs before they can actually become local government areas, and then access funds from the Federation. So where they are now, they cannot access funds from the Federation. So the existing 30 local government areas in Osun State would have to cater for these new creations because they cannot access funds from the Federation or even from the state.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kim.
So the autonomy we're talking about, the autonomy is still far.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ekem, for sharing your thoughts with us. Victor Ekem, the former FCT NBA Vice Chairman and a lawyer. Well, back to my guest in the studio, Mr. Bamigbeto. What final words do you have to say on the creation of the LCDAs? Most people believe that the activities of the local government are duplicated in the LCDAs.
One is that the whole debate has already been resolved to the matter. The last confab took the decision that there is no need to list the local governments of in the country in the constitution anymore. Let the federating units be the one to determine the kind of local government that they want. And that is because the local governments are created by the state because they want to achieve certain things. They want to decentralize. The second point that we need to address also is that whether we like it or not, there are certain functions of the local government which are automatically devolved to the LCDAs.
All right, thank you.
And so they work together.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kehinde Bamigbeto. He is a former LCDA chairman for LCDA. And that's where we draw the curtains on the program today. Thank you very much for being part of the show. On behalf of myself and the entire production crew, I'm Emana Amawe. Bye for now.